I don't know. And then the guy just told me, get out of the store. So I...
Oh, I thought we were doing that thing where isn't that the thing that you're supposed to do?
No, that laugh is like breakup material. That is awful.
That's my laugh!
No.
Did you just hear the second time,
The second one wasn't great, but it was not as bad as
Eric,
the first one.
The second one was my real laugh. The
No,
first
like,
one was an impression of my real laugh.
We're going to get a noise complaint.
Okay, first of all, I thought you were doing the thing where you say the end of a sentence.
Look at
and
the
then
waveform on the you clipped for the whole laugh.
I thought you were doing the thing where you finish a sentence and then the other person's supposed to laugh. Like,
no, I was telling you a story.
Oh, okay. You just started in the middle of it.
No, oh my God.
Okay, tell me. So you were in the store.
No, it's fine.
No, I want to hear it.
I did notice something at the store today.
What store did you go to?
I went to the Apple store.
Oh, okay.
That was like the first time, like the only time you get to interact with people these days face to face is like the security guard that doesn't let me into the mall.
Yeah. What did you notice?
No, it's just like that's like a conversation that I wouldn't have been like putting on a pedestal, but because like that's my only face-to-face human interaction this week.
You know, I saw a tweet.
It like means more.
I saw a tweet earlier that relates exactly to this.
Okay.
Someone was like, "Oh, what do you get super excited about that you shouldn't get super excited about?" And his was like his placing that mobile order on Starbucks.
What do you mean?
Like he gets super excited about placing a mobile order on Starbucks. And I responded and I was like, cleaning up my desktop folder that says to clean up later and organizing my tabs on Chrome.
Oh, that's a good question. What is something again?
Well, you got super excited at having a conversation with the security guard.
I didn't get excited. I just noticed it like... So I was not supposed to go in the mall, but then the security guard was like, "Oh, I got you. Just go into the drugstore and walk around and pretend to buy something." And
did
then
they
come
think
back.
you were stealing?
No, but like the
worked?
security guard said, like, "Oh, you don't have to go back out in the cold. You can come in."
Yeah. Did you pick me up something nice?
I didn't buy anything.
Boo!
I stared at the electric toothbrush section.
Oh yeah.
Because it's like the only thing in the drugstore where it's like, I kind of got to think about this, like.
And because my mom bought you electric toothbrush tops.
Oh right. Also, did you know that people are brushing their teeth with charcoal?
Yeah. That's
weird.
Old.
What do you mean that's old?
Super old thing.
Oh God.
I read up on it.
Is this like millennial old where it was like 2018?
Yeah, like
Jesus wept.
Eric,
that's not old,
Eric,
man.
a year ago is old. That's so
not,
last year.
It really is not.
That is like so 3 years ago, Eric.
Check yourself in.
You check yourself. Roll the intro. Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba. Let's put it in this time, and if not, there it is for you. Okay, today I got my finger injected with cortisol,
on
aka
steroids. Yeah.
I am feeling a little loopy.
Yeah.
But
your balls are going to shrink.
Oh, man, Eric, you just exposed me.
That's what happens on the steroids.
Me and Eric in a relationship both have balls. All right, guy, and there's nothing wrong with that. Okay.
This is flying off the handles. It's a good thing I'm here.
Guys.
Keep us grounded.
So I went to go get my finger injected because it's been like, what is it calling? Creasing? It's been locking.
You have trigger finger.
They call it trigger finger on my D5.
On your D5?
Yeah, that's my, okay, your pinky is D5. No, your pinky is 5. Your right hand is D, I guess.
Really?
Yeah, D5. I don't know.
Dominant?
Oh, maybe.
But how would they know?
Maybe they just say
Did they ask you if that was your right hand?
No.
Like if that's what the one you write with?
I don't think so. But maybe it's just most commonly dominant. So they just call it like that's...
I wonder what they call the left.
L. Left. I don't know. Anyways, while the doctor, who was super nice, was injecting me with this cortisol, it felt like my finger was going to blow out of its socket and off of my hand and onto the floor across the room. Like, there was so much pressure because there's so much fluid that he's putting into such a little, like, look at your pinky right now. Everybody, I want you to hear my voice.
It's like a meditation app.
Look at your pinky. Stare at it for 5 seconds. breathe in, hold, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, breathe out.
Committed to that bit.
All right, I did. Okay, so look at your pinky. Look how tiny it is. Feel around in there. Like there's no room for liquid in that pinky. Let me see your pinky. Is there room? No, bony. No room for liquid in that pinky. Now imagine filling
like
that pinky.
frog legs. Oh, we got those.
Yeah, frog legs that look like a jiggly butt. Anyways, I got that injection. My finger is super stiff right now, but I am supposed to ice it. So I'm going to do that after the podcast while we eat our spaghetti squash, which is in the oven.
Oh, we're on a timer now. Did you set a timer?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
40 minutes. So
Okay.
we got that time. Eric, I don't remember what we were going to talk about next.
You have a book.
Should I open
you have, like,
it?
a little notebook of like ideas here?
Whoosh. That was me opening the notebook. All right, so today I was working on like a healthcare project. Not my own healthcare, but I work for an ad agency, if you didn't know, and we have a healthcare sector. So sometimes I do healthcare posts. And I was watching these scientists come up with new drugs in their facilities, like B-roll. And I was thinking, oh my God, I can't believe at one point in my life, like, I really, really wanted to be a scientist. I wanted to be an organic chemist. I wanted to make perfumes.
Hang on. Continue explaining to the audience what kind of scientist you wanted to be while I go and check that burning smell in the kitchen.
I don't smell anything burning. Only your brain. Okay, so I wanted to be an organic chemist, which organic chemists make perfumes or can make perfumes, and they can make cosmetics, and that's what I wanted to make. I didn't want to be like a drug scientist or like a healthcare scientist. I just purely cosmetic. Anyways, I was watching these healthcare scientists make these drugs, and I was first of all thinking, wow, look at their environment. Like, it seems cool, like all of the test tubes and all of the equipment and stuff, but it seems lonely. I don't know. But besides that, I was like, I had this thought where I was like, oh my God, these people are literally making drugs that are saving people's lives. And I can't imagine, one, how you would even come up with a new drug. Like, how do you test combinations? Because you can't test on humans. How do you know that it'll work in a human? How do you know that it'll cure? Like, I'm sure people go to school with this and there's like for this, they do. And there's an answer and there's like obviously a science behind the science. But like, it just like blows my mind. Does it blow your mind?
No, because I just get that that's a thing. The thing that I kind of don't understand is practically what like the day to day is.
Yeah.
Of like, it's kind of like cop dramas or like legal dramas on TV where someone yells objection and then you go to a court or whatever. And like, I went there with school and it's super procedural, right?
It is super
Everything
procedural.
is very slow and drawn out. And, you know, we see in movies like the sequences of the scientist putting little drops of stuff in a beaker and swirling it around. And I'm sure all of that's your day to day, but I'm also sure like, I'm sure I've read somewhere where like if you're testing these, let's say it's a drug, like you have to put it in a petri dish for like 45 days and 90 days and stuff like that. So it's probably a super methodical, long and drawn out process. And
yeah, I'm sure the payoff is like worth it in the end.
Yeah, it's all worth it for that.
But I just don't understand how doctors do it. One, how do they, like, forget the science. Like, let's move it on to the doctors now. Like, how do doctors walk into a patient's room and tell them they have a problem, watch a patient plead and beg and cry for a solution, and then walk out of there and like get on with their life? Do you think they're trained?
I'm sure maybe you're desensitized a bit over time. Like some stuff will still impact you. Probably like firefighters, right? Like they see all kinds of really grim things, and some stuff
or
sticks
like
with them.
Coroners and stuff.
Yeah. The stuff that interests me is the fact that like, I think we've said on one of these before how like you're like, oh, one human can decide someone else's life.
Yeah.
Because if you're a judge or whatever.
Yeah.
When we went in last year when you were doing all that nuclear stuff.
Yeah.
in between your injections, we had like half an hour to kill. So I thought, I'm in a hospital. I'll watch a surgery video on YouTube.
Yeah.
It's the natural thing you do.
What the heck?
So
what surgery video?
I watched a lung transplant.
Oh my God.
And that's the thing that blew my mind is like they had this person's chest open.
Well, that's what I was going to say next.
Then, like 2 arms in, they pull out these big ass lungs.
That's literally what I was going to say next. So how, like, I commend doctors, right? Like,
yeah.
I commend them for their courage and their confidence to rip open a human chest, make sure that they snip the right parts, stitch it all back up, and know that it's going to work again properly. Like, wow. Mind blowing.
I kind of think that the thing that blows my mind too is how rough they can be. So like I would watch like my grandfather do house repairs and he's like messing around with wires and piping and stuff because he knows how it all works. I don't know how the piping works, but he's like banging the hell out of the place and he knows he's not going to break anything.
Yeah.
And then you see some of the tools that these doctors have and they're like just cutting like through bone with a saw and like they know this is the right thing to do.
Right.
And it just looks like the amount of force they're putting into like, I swear for like the lung, you have to like kind of crack open.
Yeah. The rib cage. Yeah. Which is nuts. But then on the opposite side of that, how do they go on with their day when they, for instance, go into a room, tell a patient they should amputate their ankle off, watch that patient cry and plead for a solution, leave that room, and then only for it to be a wrong statement? How do they live with themselves after that?
Well, this particular doctor has no idea it was a wrong statement.
Right.
But don't they have training on this?
I just don't understand
how they go into a room and be like, we're sorry, Mr. whatever, your wife didn't make it or whatever. Like,
yeah, I know. But imagine if I did amputate my ankle.
Hang on, what conversation are we having here?
I'm sorry. I have a crutch. No, I like I said, I commend doctors, but also I don't know how they live with like telling somebody bad news / telling somebody bad news that ends up being wrong. Like, it's crazy to me. Well, I would never want to be in that position.
I don't think the word in this case is bedside manner, but it's something like, I don't know, in the corporate world, they'd probably have some bollocks word for it, like patient relations or whatever.
Right.
But like, I'm sure they do like a decade of training before they can even hold a scalpel on a real person, probably. Yeah. So part of that is learning how to interact with family and with the patient.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of, but that is crazy though. Like, you can have as much training, but the fact that you're impacting somebody else's life, whether you're right or wrong, like you're making an impact regardless. Crazy. Speaking of corporate speak, did you ever figure out that word from the other day? No? All right. Nothing. Well, speaking of science, when I brought it up to you the other day and you were like, save it for the podcast because I have something, because I was scrolling through Facebook, which was a sight for my ears. A sight for, you see what I did there? Sight for my ears. Okay, go on.
If you look at the waveform of this podcast, you can see the long gaps of silence when you said something mad. And I'm just trying to process, do I address it or do I move on? Like, that's like number 4.
Do you still like me?
So what's this Facebook
Your long
thing?
Facebook scroll.
Right. Okay. So
Eric did a deep dive and stalked all of his exes. I'm just kidding.
Basically am not on Facebook. And then a couple weeks ago, someone in our building gave away free unopened Uber Eats sushi on Facebook. They just said,
and we missed it.
Outside my door. This is the unit number. Come get it, because they got the wrong thing. So since then, I've downloaded Facebook and turned on notifications on the off chance that 1 in a million sushi comes back.
Yeah.
And it's honestly been super boring because every time I open it up, the group is just, I don't know, I'm giving away cat food or something, which is irrelevant to me.
Hear us through the walls.
She's not giving away anything.
You don't know. Maybe one day she has sushi.
I have looked intensively and I haven't seen the neighbor put out anything.
Wait, you know who the neighbor is?
Well, I know the unit number is going to be ours plus 1.
Oh, but people say their unit numbers in the group?
That's how you know what door to go to.
Oh.
What am I supposed to run around the building? First one to find the sushi gets it?
Right. Anyways.
Jesus wept. There's another silence we can just mark in the waveform there.
So what'd you find on Facebook,
I was
Eric?
going to say I'm getting tired of Facebook, but I thought one day I'll give it a go. Something was like downloading on my computer. I couldn't do work for a bit.
Right. By the way, Eric's Facebook is scrubbed clean. Like he used to, but when I first met him, which we talked on Facebook, I went to his profile picture and I thought that Jamie Carragher, who is an ex-Liverpool player, was his father. But then now you can't even like click your profile picture. Or no, you
I'm
can
pretty
now.
sure
Now you can.
It was pretty scrubbed from the beginning.
Yeah, it was. There was no pictures of you either except for that one.
Well, because I, for the longest time, didn't have a picture of my face until I kind of got like stiff-armed into it, like by people on my soccer team. It's like I had a picture of like a clown doll. And they're like, you can't keep doing that.
Who
like,
am I dating?
The clown doll was actually nailed to a tree in some random forest, which I now know is not far from where your mom lives.
Guys, if you
like
don't hear the podcast next week, you know who the culprit is. And by that time, it might be too late. So please take notes and make sure that you're keeping up with me on all social media platforms. The thing that I was going to
say about Facebook is I decided to give it one good go.
Okay.
Also, the thing about it is because I haven't kept it up, it's basically like a snapshot of who I was like, I don't know, when I graduated university, because I haven't used it basically since.
Like your friends, because there's nothing on your profile.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
The people who would, and obviously some of the people who were posting then probably have done the same and abandoned it regardless. I found like a person from high school who was a bit of like an odd duck, and they'd righted themselves and they were on this completely different path and they didn't seem as troubled, and it looked like it was because of their significant other. So I thought, oh, that's interesting. Well, that's nice. So I clicked on the significant other's page and he's deceased.
As you do. What?
Yeah, so that one took a turn for the better and then a turn for the absolute worst.
Okay, absolutely.
And then the thing I was going to say about the science is someone who I went to school with through high school was absolutely dead set. They wanted to be a brain surgeon.
Yeah,
and, like,
I actually knew somebody.
Everyone was like, oh, like, how do you go to school for this, blah, blah, blah. And their response was, yeah, it's 10 years of school, but in the end you get paid like whatever, $300,000 a year.
Yeah.
And that was their motivation. And so
they don't want to fix the brains. They just want money.
They're interested in it because of the medicine and the prestige of the title and the paycheck.
Imagine opening up someone's skull and fixing their brain and then sewing it back together and hope that they open their eyes.
Well, this person, it turns out, is doing nothing of the sort.
Oh. Which
kind of checks out with my whole thing of like, don't go for the money, go for the thing you actually want to do.
Yeah.
Because I've since found like blog posts and interviews, like they ended up doing well for themselves in a field that was their passion.
What's the field?
It's in like mathematical engineering.
Oh, okay.
So like they build some space gear.
Wow, space is cool?
Space is cool, but space is not what his parents did. So like his only motivation to do all of that intensive schooling was the money and pressure from his parents. And like,
oh, because you said it's not what his parents do. And I was going to ask what does it matter?
His parents are surgeons who were like, you have to be a doctor.
Oh, okay.
So like the two...
I mean, mathematical engineering is on par with doctoring. Come on, parents.
Honestly, I don't understand how that's a field. Like, is it kind of like all grants and whatnot?
I don't even know what mathematical engineering is.
Like they built something to like detect some kind of substance floating around Venus or some gear like that.
What?
But like how is that like I understand if you're a doctor or in finance, how there are companies that hire you. But what are these companies that hire space engineering graduates?
Mm-hmm. Are we dumb?
What do you mean?
Like, it just seems so easy to do what we do and so, like, out of anybody's realm to be a mathematical engineer
this is my
or
thing.
a doctor.
You got to know your passion. I was good at math, but it didn't it was boring.
Yeah, same. I used to be a math tutor.
And now...
And now, what was your most iconic reality show moment?
What?
I was just trying to make a joke about, being dumb, and then we're talking about reality shows. Okay, Eric, This is your category.
This is my category.
Yeah, you said that you had 3 reality show iconic moments, and you wanted to see if I knew them.
I was listening to a thing on the radio, and the guy said something like, "Oh, we've had a pool or whatever. Like, what's it called? Like a bracket." And the 3
tournament.
I don't know how it was 3 because a bracket would have 4, but the 3 of the 4 iconic moments were William Hung on American Idol, Susan Boyle on The X Factor, and The Note from Jersey Shore. Do you know any of those? Because I only know the first 2.
I know none of those. How do you even know the first 2?
Well, when American Idol was new before like The Voice and all the shite shows came up,
Yeah.
there was a guy in one of the first seasons, William Hung, and he was like, you know how like all the crap singers would go on there, and that would be the gag, is like, oh, look how bad this guy is. Like before it became like you knew they were putting
concerning?
it on. No, like they were playing it up so they could be on TV.
Okay.
This guy thought he was dope, and he was not.
Yeah.
So he was like the first of that, and Susan Boyle was this attractively challenged person from Scotland who
Attractively,
was on...
You don't want to say unattractive, so you said attractively challenged.
There's gotta be a nicer way.
Politically correct.
Anyways,
guys,
she was
let
a
it be
dead good
known
singer.
that if you are unattractive or you think you are unattractive, you can now call yourself attractively challenged. That is so funny.
You've never heard of Susan Boyle.
In the morning, I'm going to say, Eric, I'm attractively challenged today.
Oh my God.
Oh, that's so funny. No.
Okay.
I don't think so. I feel like it sounds familiar, but I feel
I think she's saying I dreamed a dream and it went off. Know. And Simon Cowell did that thing where it was like, whoa.
No, I don't remember. I don't know any of those moments. I don't even remember what The Note from Jersey Shore is.
What would you put forward as like your iconic reality show moment?
Sharon! I don't know. Ozzy Osbourne yelling Sharon all the time.
Interesting. But that's a line, right?
So I don't remember.
Like you're fired is a line.
You're fired, Omarosa. How could I forget? She's iconic.
What's like a scene?
I don't.
Or a moment.
I don't remember. I don't think that. I'm really trying to rack my brain. Brain is racking.
I got one or two.
Okay, you go so I can think.
The one that I remember that like people taught, like I didn't have the water cooler because I was in grade school.
Okay.
But it was when the guy on Survivor fell in the fire in like the second season, I think it was.
Did he die?
No, he fell hands first and then he had to run into the water, but his hands had touched the coals or whatever. So his skin was peeling off and he got medevac.
Listen, I watched Survivor. I do not remember that. Really? Yeah.
It came with like a big warning before the scene came up. Like it was crazy.
And your second one?
Well, there was the guy on.
Oh, spit it out.
No, I'm trying to figure out his name.
Come on, you could spit it out.
I think his name was like Johnny or whatever.
Okay.
Anyways, he was known as like the liar on Survivor, and he pretended his grandmother died. Oh. You know how like the family came out like 2/3 of the way through?
Yeah.
So he got his brother or his cousin to pretend that grandma died. Why? So that everyone would sympathy say you and your brother can win the reward challenge.
Oh my God.
And then they gotta go hang out and get all the drinks.
And how did it come out that he lied?
I think he told, like they did that reunion show.
It was on the reunion show.
I think so, yeah. Oh no, because they do the cutaways.
Oh, I just thought of the most iconic moment.
I'm glad you were completely interested in what I had to say.
I'm sorry, that moment was kind of boring. No, I'm just kidding. It was great. And it made me think of another deceitful moment. And that was a really good one. Yeah. Yeah. Can I say, or did you have something to say? I mean,
you're going to say it now. I'm not
No, did you have something to say?
No, go on.
Okay. Guys, if you watch Big Brother, have you ever seen Big Brother?
No.
Oh, okay. Dan from Big Brother.
Dan Levy?
No. Dan Giesling.
Gosling?
Giesling.
Who's Dan Gosling?
No one. It's Ryan Gosling.
No, Dan Gosling is a person.
Okay.
Talk amongst yourselves.
So Dan Giesling, on Big Brother, I don't remember what season, maybe season 16, don't quote me on that. but Dan Giesling, if you want to look up a scene on YouTube, look up Dan Giesling funeral Big Brother. And basically, Eric.
Dan Gosling plays soccer for Bournemouth. Go on.
Okay. So Dan was about to get voted off, and he had one ally in the game, and they were both on the chopping block. And he was obviously going to get voted off.
What's the chopping block?
Like the chopping block, Survivor. You're up for a nomination to get out.
Okay.
Okay, anyways. He was on the chopping block, and he derived this whole plan while he was sentenced to a room because that was his punishment for something, for losing like a challenge or something. And he went to the other room for 24 hours, so he couldn't converse with anyone to convince them not to vote him out.
Why did he go to the other room?
He was stuck in a room because this was his punishment for a challenge that he lost. So he was on the chopping block, and he devised this whole like funeral. Remember, him and his ally are on the chopping block, so they're both, one of them is getting voted out. And in Big Brother, there's a veto. So somebody who has the veto necklace can take somebody else off the chopping block. So Dan devises this whole plan. He calls it Dan's funeral, like later or to the cameras or something like that. And he goes out, and his ally, who he hasn't talked to in 24 hours, he hasn't talked to anyone in 24 hours, he's acting like he's gone crazy, and he's going on about how he's dead to her, like how, yeah, she's dead to him and everything like that. And in the end, he gets vetoed off the chopping block. Somebody else like gets put on. The partner stays. You just have to watch the moment or the whole season.
We've come this far, and you're gonna go with we've got to watch the moment?
It doesn't, as I'm explaining it, I don't think the listener or you understands the extremity of this move, this manipulation, this amazing plan to get him and his partner off the chopping block.
How did he get off this chopping block?
It's hard if you
because people thought he was crazy, so they felt wrong. Like,
no, like the thing is that the thing that people always say in game shows like these is, oh, I'll always have a target on my back if everyone wants to vote me out.
Okay.
So take me off the chopping block. And so he pretends he's dead to his partner. So it looks like he's working with no one. The person that has the veto believes that, shit, yeah, he has a target on his back. I'm going to keep him in the game because everyone wants him out. So I'm going to be safe for at least next week and at least as long as he stays in the game. And then they take him off the chopping block. They put somebody else that's super competitive up. His partner isn't that competitive. She's super sweet and super nice, and she just got yelled at by her ally. So everyone's sympathizing with her.
Confused.
Okay, exactly why I stopped it.
No, I know. I see the passion.
I know.
In your explanation.
So passionate about it.
Maybe it's because I don't understand what Big Brother is all about. Like,
yeah.
I don't understand. To me, it just sounds like Survivor, but you're in a house instead of an island. Like a veto and a chopping block. And it's
not like everyone votes for somebody to go off. There's only 2 people that you can choose from because people put them up. There's a head of household.
Oh, the chopping block is like a thing.
Yeah, like, yeah.
Like in Survivor, like, oh, I'm on the chopping block. Is like, oh, I think I'm going to get voted out.
No. Like, there's 2 people that were nominated for eviction by the head of the household, the person who won the challenge.
I don't think I'd like Big Brother.
Oh, it's so good, Eric. It's so good.
I just liked Survivor for, like, the aerial footage and, like, they're on an island. It sounds nicer than being in a house. And
it sounds worse than being in a house.
Well, no, because, like, Survivor was, like, you got to do, like, the dumb food challenges and the cool, like, physical challenges. Like, Big Brother is just a strategy.
No, you still do dumb food challenges and physical challenges in Big Brother.
Oh.
Yeah. You're just sequestered in a house. Anyways, speaking of passion, I don't know if we have time for this, but I'm going to say it anyways. Millennials and Gen Z. We are millennials. Do you know that millennials and Gen Z are fighting right now?
What do you mean?
They're fighting.
Like there's like a
Gen Zers are constantly
movement?
Gen Zers are constantly telling millennials that this is uncool, that is uncool, yada, 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 we are lame. And they're spreading it everywhere. And since Gen Zers rule the world right now, it's hard to not feel like you're 80 years old when you're on any social platform.
I don't know if I consume anything that is targeted for people younger than me. Like I'm trying to, I was listening to the Leafs talk show today.
Yeah.
And they were referring to millennials as anyone under 30. And I'm pretty sure like we are at the end.
Yeah,
of,
we're
like,
at the end of the millennial. It's like
we're,
35
like,
to
close to
24 or something like that.
I think it's even less than that. Like it's like 25,
Yeah,
26.
yeah.
Like
I'm 26, so 25.
you
the
might
year
just
under
be on the cusp.
No, I am. It's
Yeah.
95 and I'm 94. That's the cutoff.
But they were saying like millennials is like anyone under 30, but that's
No,
not the
that's
case.
wrong.
It's like a whole category
Under 95 is Gen Z.
1995.
1995.
Yeah.
Like my sister is technically a Gen Z. What I was going to say that I'm very peeved about is that the laughing face emoji is apparently uncool. And that's what started,
Why?
I believe that's what started the Gen Z millennial fighting.
What do you mean it's not like using it as a reply
Using
in
it
text?
at all is uncool in anything. But I just like laughing
What
so
makes
much.
it uncool? Like
I don't know, Eric. I'm not a Gen Z. I'm a millennial.
I feel like I like it because it differentiates from LOL, because LOL doesn't mean anything other than like I'm not serious.
Yeah.
Like I'm not actually laughing.
Yeah, LOL can have so many different meanings. Isn't that crazy how language works?
I just like
Like-
the dancing girl emoji, and then I'm
I know
set.
you do.
So like that's all I need.
If they had a dancing boy emoji because, 2021, would you use it? Like
No,
a
it's
boy,
like a girl doing the tango or
a
something.
boy in the dress. If they had a man face on the tank.
You know they're gonna have bearded women in the new update,
Really?
in the new emoji update.
I still haven't updated my phone.
Well, you're about to get some bearded women. It looks like Jesus.
I still haven't updated my phone
What do you mean?
to the version that you have.
Oh,
I'm
14
I'm still on the one
Yeah.
before that. Okay, question of the day. Ask it.
of the week.
Of the week, sorry.
Okay. Have you had a song that you like listening to ruined for you?
Yes.
For some particular reason.
Yes.
What was it and why?
Okay, so ask me in 2017, I think, I would have said Ariana Grande's Side to Side, because my mom told me the meaning of that song and I didn't realize what the meaning of that song was. So I
Okay.
was like, seriously, Mom? Like, and she was spreading it all over you now. Like, do you guys know what Side to Side is? Like, she'd go in, she wouldn't like go into chats and say, do you guys know what Side to Side by Ariana Grande is about? But if somebody brought up that song, like, in a broadcast, she'd be like, do you know what Side to Side is? And I'd be like, oh my God, Mom,
This was like
stop.
back when she was doing that whole like I'm still 17 kind of thing. Ariana Grande.
I don't know.
Like she was like meant to look like she was constantly a teenager.
She still does, but her
I
songs
know,
have
but
just gotten
yeah.
really dirty.
Yeah.
Like 34 plus 35. I didn't even understand that until you said it's 69.
Well, I didn't say that. I think it was my sister.
Oh.
But also rewind to the earlier part when you said you were a math tutor. Like simple. It's just a plus.
I was thinking
Just a
beyond
sum.
that. I was thinking beyond that.
Okay.
I was thinking age. My mind's not in the gutter. Anyways, the song that when you asked me the question earlier before the podcast and I was like, oh, I got an answer. Hit Me With Your Best Shot will forever be ruined for me because of Guitar Hero. I hate that song.
Interesting.
I hate
yeah.
it. Every time I hear it, I'm like, where's the Guitar Hero? Where's the Guitar Hero? It's just
Was it like one of
ruined.
the easy ones or something? Like everyone played
I
it?
guess. I don't know. I had a Guitar Hero, so I would just say, hit me with your best shot. And I would miss every single one. I have small hands and I can't play guitar.
That
Ruined.
was Paint It Black by the Stones for me.
Really?
Like that's why I went on the beer run when they played that at the show.
Aww.
I don't like the song anymore.
Well, thank God it was not a Stone song, not a Kiss song, not a Joan Jett song,
Yeah.
not a Beatles song, not anything. Who's Hit Me With Your Best Shot by?
Pat Benatar?
Yeah. Okay, and you?
So I have Empire State of Mind, it's called, right? The Jay-Z one.
Why is it ruined?
So when Jay-Z comes in and says, I make the Yankee hat more famous than a Yankee can,
yeah.
he runs out of breath at the end of the line. So he chokes on the word can. Like he goes, "Kuh."
Really?
And every time I hear the song,
Wait.
I'm just, here it comes Jay-Z
Wait.
running out of breath.
Hold on. Is it a fact? Is it a confirm that he ran out of breath? Like he said this in an interview? Or does it just sound like he ran out of breath and that was just like stylized?
You listen, listeners listen, text in.
Okay.
But it's one of like, there's an AC/DC song where like he just comes into the line weird. And like I can only listen to the live version of that song because
Interesting.
I don't know why. Oh, dinner's ready.
Dinner's ready. All right, everybody. Let us know what song has been ruined for you, and we'll be in your ears next week. Bye.